Win every day. Watch this. Irrespective of what you do or do not do, on 31st of December this year, you're going to have some results. If I asked you in this hall, how many here have a goal? Almost 100% of you here will admit in the affirmative. But I want to ask you a slightly different question. How many in this live audience have written down their goals for 2018? You can't hit a goal that you don't have in the first place. Writing down goals clarifies your goals. It clarifies thoughts, clarifies your thinking. Writing down goals makes you focus. You are very clear with what you're pursuing in the course of that period. Writing down goals gives you a basis for evaluating performance. You are able to take stock of where you are against a certain yardstick. Writing down goals enhances creativity and innovativeness. Let me share one of our goals this year. In the very first quarter of this year, we intend to start a training center, later on, a conference center. But believe me, before 1st of April, we'll be having a training center. Not our monthly meetings. A number of you have come for our specialized courses, like the one I was training for public speakers, or our purpose courses. We'll be training them from our facility. And because we had already decided to do this year, I visited a training center in Virginia that looked like what I want to put up. And we realized we can't get the furniture locally. We'll be buying them from Dubai. So when you write down that goal, it enhances your creativity. Now, by a show of hands, let me ask you one more question kindly. How many desire to achieve their goals in 2018? Thank you very much. People who desire to achieve their goals wake up when it's convenient. People who desire to achieve their goals sleep when it's convenient. They make phone calls when they feel like, based on moods. People who desire to achieve their goals, when they feel like sleeping, they just snore. They wait for the traffic jam. Committed people do what it takes to achieve their goals. Convenient people work on feelings. Committed people work on purpose. Committed people do not give stories. You know, I would have done this, but there was no capital. Those are stories. If they don't have a certain skill, they'll acquire it. If they can't acquire it, they'll outsource it. But they will have no story to give by 31st of December. They are inspired by results. And so they can't allow stories to stand between them and their result. This is what I'll suggest for you. The very first step towards achieving any goal you want in life is to really be driven by something larger than you. The very reason for your existence. I call it your life purpose, your lifelong goal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am so passionate about purpose. I don't even want to diverge into that subject. But let me tell you this, a fact of life. Life is an uphill assignment. Why add friction to it? I'm already flowing within my purpose, and I meet a lot of challenges and barriers and giants to conquer. How much more when you're flowing against your own current? A shark is powerful and mighty, only within its domain. Once you get it out of the sea into dry land, it can be killed by a domestic dog. Why on earth would you dare swim against your own current? The beginning of fulfillment in life is discovering your life purpose. When you're 100% sure what you do is what you love, and what you love is what you do, you don't do things based on an academic qualification. You don't do things based on an opportunity that was available down street. You do it because it's within you. It's your material form. You have found your place. You're at peace with it. Only then can you handle any challenge, any storm that comes your way. If you follow me at any given moment, you can tell without a shadow of doubt, I'm operating within my domain. It acts as a magnet, and later on this year, I'll be taking you through a subject called personal visioning. And this is the reason I have established purpose classes for 12 good hours in a row. This coming month of February, we have 12 hours of transformation. This will be our 7th season to take people through this. If you have not connected with who you are, if you have not truly found your place, I urge you to sign up for this class. And I'll even give you a discount we have not given before. These classes go for $20,000, inclusive of meals. I'll give every registered Sense 1 member a 50% discount. 10,000 shillings. Thank you very much. Come for the 12 hours. Some people seated here had to pay 20,000. You come. We'll go through this class with you. Find your place. Connect with who you are. Every single year, every single day you wake up, you'll have such an energy. You look forward to doing what you love doing. Even over Christmas, even over holidays, even when I'm swimming, I'm still trying to produce the messages I want to give. I'm too obsessed by my purpose, by my calling. And until you reach that place, life has no meaning. You can make money and be miserable. But again, that's a subject for another day. Assuming that perhaps you know your purpose, then you need to break it down to 3-year goals, then to your annual goals. My purpose this afternoon is just to discuss with you your annual goals. Once you've decided this is what I want to achieve in 2018 in 5 areas, in your mental goals, in your relational goals, in your career goals, in your financial goals, in your health goals, then you need to break it down to 90-day goals and have given a talk on the same subject. You can search for it. Secure your life in 90 days. Go through it. But then we need to move from being goal setters to goal achievers. And this is where the rubber meets the road. This is the point I need you to take home. If there is any take home from this meeting, it's what I'm going to tell you right now. It is going to convert you from being a goal setter to a goal achiever. And this is the message, very simple. Win every day. Win every day. This is how it works. Decide what you're going to do this week, the weekend before. Every week, decide what you're going to do the weekend before and write it down. Every day, decide what you're going to do the night before. Don't decide in the course of the day. You're going to adjust your agenda conveniently. You've got to decide the night before. Morning will come anyway. It has no choice. The question is, are you prepared for the morning? You have already decided this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. When you're deciding what you're going to do the following day, ask yourself, I have these annual goals. If I was only to do one thing, just one thing to achieve my goals, what is this? If it's only one item, please pursue it to its logical conclusion, whether it takes 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours. Say no to everything else and pursue that one thing to its logical conclusion. Now, stop writing for a minute. Look at my eyes just for a moment. Never go to sleep until you win today. Never go to sleep until you accomplish your agenda for the day today. Failing is not an overnight event. It is failure to make that telephone call today. It is failure to see that client today. It is failure to submit that tender today. It is failure to write that proposal today. It is failure to tell a loved one, I love you today, and one day becomes weeks, months, and then you no longer feel your love for each other. I've tested these things in many ways. When I enrolled for my PhD, I say with humility, and I have a number of witnesses in the hall here, including a colleague lecturer who is in our midst. I did it in 3 years. I was the only student who graduated, being the first student who graduated in the country with project planning and management PhD. My classmates are still in class doing their thesis. Most of them perhaps are sharper than me. The only reason they have not yet graduated is that they postponed it to another day. They rescheduled the assignment to another day. You see, life is not divided into semesters. You've got to do it yourself. In your early days, someone planned goals for you, albeit unawares. You did not know it. When you enrolled in class 1 in our 844 system here in Kenya, someone had set an 8-year goal for you. And you knew she will examine you, whether you like it or not. And so most of us became serious only the last year. Because the goal was there. Then every year you examined. Every time you examined. Every day, let me tell you this. Every 40 minutes, every 40 minutes, there were clear lesson objectives and clear lesson outcomes. And this continued in high school. Then suddenly you found yourself out of high school or college and nobody was planning your life. One day turned into 1 year, into 10 years, 15 years later. When you look behind, you had nothing to show for the many years of work. You sense some wasted years within you without realizing what happened. What became of me is because you joked with the SI unit of life. The SI unit for life is the day called today. The SI unit is day, not week, not month, not years, not decades. You only need to joke around with your day. The Lord Jesus taught, give us this day our daily bread. He further said, every day has its own trouble. King James 4, every day has its own needs. Late last year, I went with Daisy, who works with me, to Mombasa to consult for a corporate organization, and they took me to task. I was taking them through policy developments. And they said, Doc, look, you helped us develop a business plan 3 years ago, but it's not working. So I told them, okay, fine, let's face the facts. Let's start with the first things here. How are you evaluating performance? And we are going to start with marketing department, because these are the guys who are bringing the business home. They told me, I asked them, how do you evaluate them? How often? What is the frequency? They said, we do it every month. All right. So every month, you receive a report from these people. Yes. Then I understand the missing link. It's very clear to me. If I have to give a report at the end of the month, I can tell you I visited company XYZ. I can give you a nice story. But if I know I will meet my supervisor 8:30 in the morning, and I explain what I'm going to do the day to day on an hourly basis. I tell him I'm going to make 5 phone calls, and I'm visiting 3 clients. And I'm going to meet the same supervisor at 4:30 before he releases me for the evening. I can give a story today about company X and Y and Z, but I cannot repeat that story 4 days later. Does that make sense? Yes. And believe me, that's what we do in our office. In fact, in our office, people don't tell me I'm going to make 10 calls. I don't listen to those stories. I ask, who are you calling? I want to write their name so that I hear the names you're going to give me tomorrow. You can't fool people for a day, but not for 3 days. But if they're going to give me a report at the end of the month, we will never sell our online programs. We will never take our programs to KBC or to airline companies. We will not be doing the trainings we normally do. And every single week, come this Monday, I have no breathing space. Our diary is extremely booked. It's overlapping because we have learned to measure goals on a daily basis. You people are nice people. You're God-rich children. You're God-fearing people. And you have never asked yourself, what happens 10 years later? You have been tithing and there's no breakthrough. Here is the secret. My people perish due to lack of knowledge. You'll go to church and they'll tell you about God's responsibility, but very few of them will tell you about your human responsibility. And that's the missing link. Unless you win per day, you will end up as a failure. If I know what I'm going to do today to win, and I repeat it tomorrow, and I repeat it 3 days later, then I have developed a prototype, a masterpiece that I can run with. And for the women and the ladies in our midst, I have a suggestion for you. It is not easy for ladies and girls to keep up with goals unless I give them this secret. Come up with some triggers to trick yourself to succeed. What do you mean, Doc? Come up with a sticker for what you're going to do today, and stick it on the mirror where you keep watching yourself to remember what you're supposed to achieve today. Some of you, the first place you go is the mirror. Some of you like food. The first place is the fridge. Stick it on your fridge door. So before you can pick your bread, you first remember your goals. Men and women alike, most of you are addicted to your phones. Every day, stick something on the screen of your phone. You are unable to call anyone before you see your goals. Come up with triggers. Do not leave this place without making that decision that I must win the day today. Sometimes I've thought to myself, I've taken people through purpose classes. Some have succeeded, majority have not. How do I know? Those who succeed tell me. Last year alone, 3 people called me very excited. They bought their very first cars. They couldn't let me go. Please, Doc. In fact, I remember one of them. I was leaving our cruise, the meetings we conducted at St. Andrews. She said, I can't let you go. You've got to dedicate my car. You convinced me I can do it last year, and I have done it. And I came here to show you that. You can imagine the thrill, the joy, the excitement in my heart. Because the success of a mentor is the success of his proteges. That's his desire. That is his fulfillment. It gives me a lot of pain when people come through purpose courses. Some of them, I've taken them through very rigorous programs. Last year, I took a group to the great River Nile. And I took them through intense self-discovery. 3 days, 3 nights along the Nile. This year, April, we are taking another group to Singapore. We are cruising from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur. 5 days, 5 nights, connecting with purpose. August, we are doing this for the diaspora community, all the way from Southampton in England to Italy. And by the way, some Kenyans who are seated in our midst here paid. Then I've asked myself, how come some of these people, after going through such rigorous training, I never hear any testimony? And this has been disturbing to me. And I thought to myself, when I was taking them through purpose classes, we were able to identify what they can do on a day-to-day basis. They wrote it down on a piece of paper, others on a notebook, but they didn't know what to write in February or in March or in June. And I decided I'm going to address that challenge. And I developed a tool for you. I call it the Organizer. So I developed a tool for you. It's called the Organizer. I'm giving you this tool so that you can write it. You can write your goals every day, hour by hour basis. Then you have a place for your contacts, who to contact, and the projects, and how to break them down. The reason I'm doing this is so that I don't give you ideas on how to win per day, and then you wonder, so how am I going to plan per day? So I've done it for you. A couple of things about the Organizer. Number one, the Organizer will help you break down complex projects into small, manageable tasks. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. The secret to getting started is breaking down a complex project into minute tasks and then starting on the first one. Secondly, the Organizer will help you to have an order. It will make you orderly. Rushing from one activity to another can be freaking exhausting. The hour has come, you stop confusing motion for progress. You stop confusing activities for accomplishments. You stop confusing processes for results. You stop confusing stories for deliverables. And the Organizer will keep your day orderly. Thirdly, the Organizer will help you to monitor your progress. As you take in what you've done, the completed and the uncompleted tasks, you're able to tell where you are against where you're supposed to be. You can gauge the progress of your day-to-day activities. You can see the tasks accomplished and the ones that are pending. Fourthly, the Organizer will create a memory outside of you. You see, the average human being can only hold a maximum of 7 pieces of information for only 30 seconds. If you try to hold more than 7 pieces of information at the same time, you are setting yourself up for failure. The Organizer will help you to keep aside that which you do not need in the present so that you can immerse yourself deeply into the present, which is the prerequisite to optimal performance. Because you know you have recorded it somewhere, it doesn't bother your working memory. So the Organizer will help you to remain focused. Number 5, to help you remain focused and to keep up from secondary activities. That means if I'm going to decide today on Saturday what I'm going to do tomorrow on Sunday, what the organizer will help me to do is to avoid secondary activities. Life is very tempting. A lot of imagined opportunities will rise up. If it was not recorded in the organizer and you detect it to be an imagined opportunity, I request you to make a phone call to your accountability partner and tell them, hey, I'm deviating from what I planned for the day today. Because some of the things you're running for could be conmanship. These things you engage in emotionally, thinking they're opportunities, that's where you get conned. So the organizer will help you to focus on the main thing, keeping the main thing the main thing. All right, Doc, we agree we need the organizer. At this time of age, why a manual organizer? The Forrester Research, a very renowned research group, conducted a survey on successful CEOs, and they found out 87% of all successful executive officers complemented electronic gadgets with notebooks, even in the boardroom. They believed in writing. And that is why we keep telling students to take down notes. Even in this forum, those among you who are writing down notes on a comparable scale will have a higher retention of the message. You can't argue with me on this point. I can present over 100 messages offered, and while I do not want to ignore the role of God's gifting, I have never, ever presented any message without writing it down. Writing enhances your retention, your creativity, and even your ability to conceptualize concepts. Writing has its undeniable place today. One of the most prolific and most respected authors, researchers, and writers, and professors of education psychology, Virginia Banija, argues that writing down notes activates the working memory far more than typing on electronic gadgets. So I suggest strongly, do not leave this place without picking the organizer. When you pick the organizer, write every single day what you're going to do the night before, write in black or blue. Check for yourself every evening where you are against where you had planned to be. If you can meet your accountability partner per week, so be it, but at least once a month. And your accountability partner comes with a red pen. And then let's check per day. If you have achieved less than 80% of what you had planned to do today, you are headed for trouble. If you always retain over 90% of your day's task, I guarantee you 100% you're going to win your goals for the year 2018. Pastor Murithi Wajau, the senior pastor and founder of Mavuno Church, came to our meeting. He was with us here. And he's going to be speaking in our February meeting on couples and money. And when I finished speaking, I asked him to pray for the audience, and he said the clothes he was wearing in January, he cannot wear them right now. He's now wearing the same clothes he used to wear when he was in college over 30 years ago. And the secret he learned last year is the issue of dealing with every single day. And he was able to overcome a certain weight he didn't want to his desired weight. And I know a number of people who've gone through my lessons who can attest that winning takes place on a daily agenda. The 500 shillings you're going to spend on the organizer, $5 is not worth your annual goals. In fact, I'm contemplating calling some meetings here. Perhaps in the course of the year. I don't think I want to wait until December. Just want to call you back, every one of you who attended our January forums, and ask you to meet me on a desk like this, and maybe other council members are going to help me so that I don't get overwhelmed by the work. And you come with a book and we start checking. Which day did you go wrong? And because Kenyans like more Kenya, do not start adding stuff to what you didn't do. Just be true to yourself. Let's check. What is it that you're able to do? And then you can tell us, is it that you are not realistic while setting out your goals? The secret to winning, win every day. Look at your neighbor and tell him or her, win every day.